Squeaky's on the windowsill, king of the throne. Charlie's got a feather toy, she's in her zone. Doobie's in the kitchen, knocking stuff down. 3 cats ruling this crazy little town.
Good morning, everyone. I had the worst sleep last night. I mean, I kept waking up expecting to hear my messenger go off. And it wasn't going to go off. I know it wasn't going to go off because I have him blocked. I have him blocked because I didn't want to hear excuses anymore. I don't have him blocked. Again, I don't have him blocked because he was violent or any of that. Any of that. He was never any of that to me. Matter of fact, he wouldn't let me talk bad about myself. I have him blocked because I didn't want to hear any more excuses and I didn't want him to hook me back in. I'll change. I'm working on it. You know I don't have the money to do that, but I'm working on it. I'm trying. This is happening. That's happening. I've got to do this. This. Excuse. And I know that's not healthy for me. But my head was going, oh. I kept just thinking that I was going to hear the messenger go off. I do. I miss what he was when I met him. I miss the actual fun times we did have. But I was being denied that. He was nice to me even when he was denying it to me. But get a clue, Tressa, when somebody's backing off like that, they don't want you anymore. And they don't know how to get out of it. So, sure, I'm sad for the loss, but according to my heart, I lost him a long time ago. I think it was about a year ago when he moved to this new place. And then that's when he started distancing. Oh, I've got to go. I found this place I can go get free lunch at church. I'm like, cool, go do that. Well, he'd go, and it'd take him a couple hours. Because he had to get on the bus to go and, eat and then come back, whatever. Okay, that's cool. Couple hours, I can take that. And he'd come back and we'd talk and joke around and all that kind of stuff. Well, then, this same place on Tuesdays would do his laundry for him. So he'd go there, wait for his laundry to get done, have his lunch, and come back. I'm like, okay, somebody that's going to do your laundry for free, awesome. Then it started to be because I decided Christianity was a better path for me than what I was following. And Mom, if you see this, I'm sorry. This is nothing against you. It's just a path that has been calling me for a while. And if you haven't noticed it, you're not going to notice it because guess what? It's been happening since probably around December or January. He decided, okay, I'm going to follow Christianity too, which sounded like, yes, he's supporting me. So there was church on Sunday. He'd have to get on the bus and go to church on Sunday. And then he'd have to talk to people. Then he'd have to have friends with people. And he'd this and that and another thing with people there. So that was Sunday. And then Tuesday was the laundry. And the other days were I'm going to lunch. And now I'm getting these friends. These friends. My friend John, my friend Ed, my friend this and that from church. And then there was Bible study on Wednesday. So we'd have to get on the bus to go do that. So it'd take him a couple of hours to do that too. And yesterday what broke me was, not yesterday, but the day before, was I'm going to go get groceries. Which he used to get them delivered. And I was happy. Go ahead, get out and go get groceries. I mean, I understand that. You know, you see me inside the building most of the time. Most of the time I'm evading bugs. But, here's the thing. I waited for him. Because I thought, okay, it's going to take about 2 hours. I waited for him. And waited. And waited. And waited. This was about... I waited for him for 12 hours. Then I get a message with a kiss. I went with a friend. An undisclosed friend. Which I don't care. Okay, he's in Australia. If it's a girl, great. Whatever. And if it really is a girl, I hope she loves him as much as I did. I went with a friend to see Happy Gilmore. I don't mind that he went to go see a movie. That's great. I waited for 12 hours. Not one word after saying I'm going to go get groceries. I've been warning him since before Christmas that he was wasting my life with... and before that it was, my meds have kicked in, I have to go to sleep. And it's almost always, I don't feel good. I'm going to sleep. I said, dude, you are sleeping and wasting my life away. I'll do better. I'm working on it. I'll do better. So you just get so tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over and no results. Stupids doing the same thing expecting different results. So I had to quit that habit. I have a sticker over his sticker because I had one of these stickers on my wall that had his face on it. And now I have a sticker over top of it. Just because, you know how you unfriend someone on Facebook? I unfriend you. I have pictures of Pam and Sterling, but they're behind my shelves, and unfortunately I didn't do that on purpose. But, anyway, so... Again, I am not bringing you into like my personal junk business, airing dirty laundry, because that wasn't really dirty laundry that I was exposing. It was just what I was dealing with and why I had to make the decision I did. And if he's still subscribed, because you know what? Once I posted that, I had to say goodbye to him. I lost a subscriber. So I'm assuming he just left. It could have been anybody, really. And yes, I do look at it and I'm thinking, I do. It's just a habit because it gets brought to my attention how many people are subscribed to me. I don't just oh, that goes up one, it went up down one. Oh, I'm scared. Nothing like that. It's just, I'm pretty sure that's what might have happened. So, and if he's still subscribed to me and he sees this, he's going to know exactly. So it's basically a message to him. Why? Because yeah, okay, he does deserve it, but I was telling him why. He wasn't listening to me. When you got a girl that loves you, even if she looks like a rock troll, take care of her heart. Take care of her. She'll take care of you back. But when stomach, if that was a fart, I'd let you know. It was an inside fart. It was like exclaiming, "Take care of your girl! Take care of your rock troll girl!" Ah. And yes, I do compare myself to a rock troll. If you watched Frozen and Sven's the deer. Not Olaf. He's the snowman. The blonde guy that has the deer. His parents were rock trolls. If you watch that, they got these squishy faces like this. They're short though. So I'm a bit taller than that, but they got the squishy faces with the big noses. I look like a rock troll. Anyway, so yeah, I compare myself to one of those. I was watching TikTok, and now here I am changing the subject now because, there isn't much that has to be said about something like that. And really, again, it's not really your business. And that's why I'm not, and plus there isn't any hate. And I'm not throwing hate into it. There isn't any hate. I don't hate him. Hated the situation. Angry with the situation. Hurt. No. Hurt by the situation. And here I go. And the reason I said all of that is because in my head, I could not departmentalize, I guess, what feeling I was feeling. I felt something and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. And I don't know if any of you other people have that issue or not, but I have to really try and think of what I'm feeling. Like, are you happy? Are you happy? No, I wasn't happy anymore. And he would tell me every single day what he had to eat. And that's basically the conversations we had. This is what I had to eat. And I say, great, well, what happened to the rest of the day? I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I'm like, and that's another thing that I told him, is I would like to have conversations with you that didn't involve the contents of your stomach. So again, with the Christianity, he would shove videos in my face about God and Jesus, and let's learn this, and this, and this. And then he'd start shoving Bible and Christian and God and in my face. And then I ate oatmeal, and then I'm going to bed. So, like I said, there wasn't anything there anymore. He wasn't even trying. Wasn't even trying. Rooster's crowing somewhere, and it's not my neighbor's rooster. Not the right immediate neighbor rooster. He's not awake yet. That I know of. Look, it's looking pretty. I like the colors. And I did get the other one washed. I haven't inspected it yet to see, and maybe I should go do that. But I'm working on this. I haven't inspected it to see if the coffee stains have become erratic or if they've disappeared or not. This one I know did not, because like I said, I've washed this piece of material I don't know how many times. Anyway, I was on TikTok. Like I said, ADHD Central, man. Boop, bloop, 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 bloop. With the videos. And they showed that they're cutting the sleeves straight down the side of your body. Not your body, but the body of the shirt. Just straight down, making it into a rectangle, and turning these son of a guns into ponchos. I've got one started for home use because I noticed it's got really big stains on it. They're literally cutting them just as a rectangle and turning them into ponchos and leaving the neckline there. And then I saw how to properly, well, not properly, how this lady properly, improperly. There's no, I guess, proper way to do something. You find your niche in on how to do something, and you like it, do it. But she showed me, let's see, to put sleeves on a t-shirt. You cut the edge basically like this so that the seam is still there, and then you put the holes on the other side. You put holes in it yourself with a bigger needle, and then you force your hook in there and make holes, and then you can crochet like the bigger, because I was trying to do it with the lace stuff and it was taking forever, and I'm like, this is boring, I'm not going to do this anymore, la 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 la. So she showed me how to do it with the acrylic yarn, which I'm not really a fan of wearing acrylic because I don't like the way it, I just feel it and go, plastic. I'm wearing plastic. But some of them are softer, like this I don't know what color. Is it lilac? Is this lilac? This color? I can't tell. That one is softer than this one, but this one was an old blanket. This lilac one came from Mom again, and it's CARON, Simply Soft. Karen, Simply Soft. I do not like Red Heart Super Saver yarn. It is like trying to crochet with stiff felt, and your stuff comes out just stiff. I don't like it. That's another reason I like used yarn, because sometimes it's conditioned and it just feels broken. So I did not sleep very well last night, unfortunately. It'll get better and I'll get used to it. It's just habit. Since 2014. Since 2014, guys. So habit. I'm trying to break a habit. I'd rather... I don't know. Sterling brought up about something about missing him or something, or hurting or crying, or I said, honey, the problem is I left because I was doing all of that while I was in the relationship. And when you feel like that when you're in a relationship, you're not in a relationship. I was already missing him, already hurting and longing for him, already crying for him. And it isn't the fact that he couldn't be here physically. That I was prepared for. We knew this. It was the mental dislodge that I was longing for and not getting. And again, when you sit there and you think of something like that, there was nothing left. This being said, no, I'm not looking for somebody new. If that happens, he better be close to freaking God. Because, do you know what? Even though I complain about my own home, I complain about the fact that I have stashes everywhere. This, that, and this, and another thing. I complain about that. I know I complain about it. I know you hear me complaining about it. And then you see me trying to do a solution about it, but you still hear me complaining about it. I enjoy my own company. It is physically, mentally, and everything draining to have to entertain another person. And this is where I was talking about Dad and his thinking he's in a crowd with one more person in the house. So to have, and it's all of that, to have to worry about them and have to. So, I mean, if I didn't have to worry about their mental stability, it might be a little different. But I'm okay. I'm more than okay. Like I was saying until he started distancing that it was the perfect relationship. Because he stayed way the heck over there and he could deal with his own freaking life and I could deal with my life, but we talked and he told me I was pretty. And sometimes he'd send me gifts, but I told him to stop doing it. I says, because you know what? I feel bad because I cannot afford to send you gifts because of tariffs, because of a few years ago, I don't even remember how long ago it was. I was going to send him a hat and something else I had made for him. And it was just a hat and something else I'd made for him. And it was very lightweight. The woman behind the counter told me $200. Might have changed. Might have been something. I don't know what she was trying to charge me $200. But she told me $200. And I was like, I can't afford to do that. So I started sending him stuff from Amazon. Well, just recently with the tariffs and stuff, I don't think I was able to do that either. And I was like, dude, everything's going up. Prices are going up. I can't afford to simply send you gifts. And I said, please stop doing that for me too. And he agreed. He was like, yeah, I understand that. Because, Christmas, birthdays, you know, you want to give them stuff. And it was never he's in my wallet, he's asking for money. He never, ever asked me for money. As a matter of fact, he had offered it to me and I declined. I'm just, no. If I can't afford the things that I want or need or something like that, it's not your responsibility to do that. So it was never I'm using you. It was never a I'm using you situation, ever. Never did he. And I never did give him just plain money. He wouldn't give me the information to be able to like PayPal it or anything. Because I offered one time because he really was desperate for it. And he's like, no. Mm-mm. So again, it was never anything like that. It was a genuine, I want you and I want you in my life. But he wasn't in my life anymore. So I'm not in his. I'll show you this first in a second because I'm. One, two. I had 3 more sides to do to get it to whatever, but. Well, it won't line up because. But do you see how it can be a sweater? Actually, I could give this to a baby right now if I wanted to. And that's just a hexagon. And the size hook, if anybody out there crochets, is a 10. You want to see the difference between this and the lace? The hook I used to sew on with the lace. Just a second. I made my own ergonomic handle for this. I bought ink pen molds because I had gotten some acrylic. What is that stuff called? I just told you what it resin. I got some resin on sale, and I thought, ergonomic hooks. So I can't tell you what size this is. Wait a minute, I can. Maybe. I can't see it through the glitter. I'll use this piece of cloth to demonstrate, though. This little teeny tiny hook. See the difference? And yes, I can crochet with this too. And then you put the yarn on and crochet around. That's how I was doing it with this. And then I had a bigger one, and then I ruined it because the acrylic that I used never hardened. But here's the. I didn't have enough in it, just so it's enough to do what I wanted. But I don't know why they came out flat. But these were ink pen molds. And I stuck my hook through the end so that I would have an exposed area. Well, obviously you can't acrylic over your hook or you're not going to be able to use the dang thing, right? And then this was just a bead I had. So he's a skull. And I think that because I was being just me, and I'm lucky it's set. There's the glitter. It's so the size of the hook is underneath this glitter and I can't see it. And I think this is the one that I colored with a Kool-Aid packet just to see if it would do it. And I did, and it did. I just threw a few in there. I think there's also other glitter in there, and it looks like I may have scraped some eyeshadow in there. You can use eyeshadow to make the glitters. You can also, if you get cosmetic grade, they have micas that go in the acrylic that you could also use as your makeup. And these powders, I mean, you can get them cheaper, but you go to the Dollar Tree and you get one of their little palettes, you can mica powder for your acrylic for $1. Yeah, because I watch people do that professionally on YouTube. I love to watch the products. I actually love resin art. Acrylic resin is expensive and it is stinky, smelly. It stinks. So that's where I kind of got the idea to do a lot of this stuff. And I gotta go see. We'll see together. What did they knock down? What'd you knock down, Tolly Puff? Huh? Oh. She knocked that over trying to get up on the bike. Do you have your license to drive that thing? I did not think so. Well, I guess now that I'm up, we'll check this out and see if I got a lot of the coffee stains off. I love the way that smells. You know what? Well, we'll check it. But I was going to tell you, you know what? This Gain Oxy Febreze Original smells so good. And if you could see my mirror, I'm like, that stuff smells so good. I search for things that do not have lavender in it. I have an entire family of friends. I say friends because they're not blood related, but they're my family too. Bina and her family, every single one of them are allergic to lavender. So I do not keep, even though we see each other every few years and whatever, I do not keep lavender. I do not put it around my home. I do not put it in my clothing, anything. Because if there's an off chance that they do show up, I don't want them touching and getting sick. Or I don't remember how it affects them. I think it's rashes. I don't remember. But I know that it affects every single one of them. So I don't keep lavender of anything around my home. Let's check this out. Looking at it, I don't see any major amounts of coffee. So that's a win. We can flip it over and see. That was just one side. Sometimes it's on both sides or one side. And I am again not seeing major coffee stains. Now, this may be an off-white, or it may be like an ecru or something, or it might be somebody had a same kind of, because I'm not seeing that this is white and this is off-white. So I'm seeing that they might have used an ecru. I'm not seeing coffee stains. I may have a freaking win. That's awesome. Cats are going to want to lay on that, and they're probably going to want to pee on it, so I'm going to leave it in my bed. If I leave something in my bed, that's another reason why you see piles of projects in my bed. It's because they won't pee in it. If it's on the floor and they find it, they'll have just like Charlie. Oh, does she like a nice soft cushiony place to go pee in? I'd had my coat on the floor one time. I gotta put that up. I'll put that up here. I'd had my coat on the floor, and she was upset because it was the day I should have cleaned the litter box. And I was playing The Sims. That was one of my addictions, The Sims. And, sadly, unfortunately, I cannot play it anymore because I do not have a PC. Which direction am I going in on this? That way. I was playing The Sims, and when you play The Sims, if you are into the game, you just zone, and that's, of course, that's how it is with most video games. And I look down, and she's being all Charlie-like, and rubbing my leg, and I'm like, just a minute, cat. She actually literally gave me an ugly look and peed in my coat at my feet, right at me, and stared at me the whole time, shook her tail. You know how the guys shake their to get the droplets off? Shook her tail, looked at me like, what are you going to do about that? I paused my game and took care of the litter box and threw the coat in the washer. If you catch cat pee, come here, Puff. Come here, Puff. If you catch cat pee fresh like that, and if you put OxyClean, vinegar, and I know you're not supposed to mix these two because it makes a nice fizzy mess. Vinegar and baking soda and OxyClean in clothing, usually it'll get that smell out. I don't know. I've never had anybody tell me I smelled like cat pee. And I know one person who would be brutally honest if I smelled like cat pee. Little kids will tell you, you stink. She told me one day, because my teeth are stained, she said, you need to go clean your mouth. You need to go brush your teeth. I'm like, you're right. Again, it's stain, not whatever. It's from past misuse. But, so if I smelled like a cat litter box, because she's been on my lap, hugged me, cuddled me, all that kind of stuff. If I smelled like a cat litter box, she'd say, you stink, go take a shower. She'd literally say, you stink, go take a shower. That, I'm not going to say is a bad thing for her to do to me. Because for one thing, assuming that I'm autistic and knowing I'm ADHD, sometimes I need that clue. Sometimes I'm like, you're smelling a little roast beefy there, Tressie. Gonna go. Pam will do it nicely. It'll be like, she'll let it go a day, but the next day she'll say, you can take a shower, we gotta get going, so if you're gonna take a shower, it's time to do that. So she helps me prevent smelling, because we're stuck in a hot car together, all of us. So, I mean, who wants to sit there and smell Arby's when there isn't Arby's in the car? Or, a pizzeria under your armpits in a hot car with a bunch of people, right? And she's right. I have had issues with smelling, especially in school. low self-esteem. I have had issues with that. And plus, being large, when you are a big person, you have more nooks and crannies on your bodies than somebody who is flat. And sometimes you get infections in those areas. And that does not smell great. But yeah, Pam to this day will say, if you're going to take a shower, please do it now, because we are going to go soon. Don't think I haven't picked up on the clue, Pam. I understand you don't want to sit in a hot car. Yeah, because when we picked up George, I was talking to Pam before she did that. She says, what are we going to do with George? Again, he and I are just not friends anymore either. Disrespectful. And I said, I don't have a clue what we're going to do with him. And I know you love him too. But there is no reason on this earth I want to sit very long in a car with somebody that looks like that. And when he did get in the car, there was an issue. And again, I understand the dude lives in a camper. But if he's so proud about getting out and getting a job, and he's got cerebral palsy, right? If he's so proud about getting out and getting a job and stuff like that, and you can work like that, you can also use your resources to find a place that has a shower. And if you've got a job, go to a motel. Go to a motel and rent a room. Go to a motel and pretend you're going to use the pool and use the shower. Like, if you use the pool, they'll charge you $5. And if you've got a job, you can afford $5. So don't tell me there's a reason for you to smell like you crapped your pants and shoved an ashtray in your pocket. Because that's the disrespect I got. Some of us have a job. That's why we are not friends anymore. And I blocked him on Facebook too. Right in front of him. He didn't even know he sassed me like that. And I'm like, oh, really? I sit next to Sterling. I said, watch this. And she goes, and to this day, he's blocked. And if he sees the videos, and if he doesn't, there's his explanation. I just don't take it. I don't care who you are. You talk to me like that, you're gone. What are you getting into now, Kat? It's chilly this morning, but it's threatening to be in the 80s again today. Pam's sitting there going, oh, it's 75, it's 70, and it's nice and cool, and here's more storms coming in. And I'm like, dear, give me my weather back. I'll trade you back. I don't want this weather anymore. It's hot. The degrees that she's at in the 70s, 75 starts getting too warm for me. But 70, 75, something like that, is just the perfect weather for me. Not too hot, not too cold. I could wear a pair of pants if I wanted to, or I could wear a pair of shorts if I wanted to. Just this 80, 90 degree weather is busting me. And she's like, oh, la, 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 here's another storm today. Look at my weather. It's so nice. I'm like, dude, if you want me to enjoy your weather, invite me to move into your house. Hey, guess what? She and I can't live together. I've said it many times before. She puts herself down for this, but it is not her fault that she and I can't live together. I have, again, issues living with people. You have got to be and she's important to me, but at the time when we were living together, I didn't realize that we were as good of friends as we are, and didn't realize we were going to be as good of friends as we are. I thought this was, as every relationship I have with people, friendships, relationships, any of that, thought it was temporary. I thought it was temporary. So I acted a lot different than I probably would now. And plus, I was a lot different then, too. I was jumbled up in my head in an angry, scared, sad person from rejection. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to be volatile to everybody. And I think that's how you say the word. So, and then my messes. She cannot be as a perfectionist as she is now. I mean, as she was then, but she was a very clean person. Cleanliness. Chaos, maybe, but cleanliness, yes. Me? It's like taking care of a husband. I drop stuff all over the place and just leave it there. And again, it's not intentionally. It's just because I will take care of that in a minute. And then 5 hours later, I look at it and go, oh, that's still there. I forgot. Or I'll stare right at it and go, I need to pick that up. Oh, let's go check the vegetables. So I understand where that would have been frustrating. So again, she blames herself for my mental disorders. And it is not the case at all. I was a pig. I was a pig and she couldn't fix it, and I think that's what she blames herself for. And you can't fix. You can't be nice to somebody and be as good of a person to somebody and fix that going on. You can't fix it. You can't fix it without medication. Or you can't fix it without a major life movement in life, unless the person that has the mental issues fixes it. You just can't make that go away. So it takes a very, 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 very special person to be able to live with me. I need a granny flat somewhere. I want tiny house. I want to live in a tiny house. A tiny horse. I want to live in a tiny horse. This is not Star Wars. I do not live in animals to keep myself warm. Oh. 2. There we go. There it is. 3. Sorry, I was trying to find this one little space that I have to slip stitch into because I am doing a thing with my granny square. When you do a granny square, it's usually you go the same direction. You go the same direction all the way around, and then you tie it off and then go the same direction all the way around. Well, what I'm doing, because it changes the way the variegation goes, I flip it. Otherwise, you get a splotch of this color and a splotch of that color and a splotch of this color. And it just, to me, looks weird. So, when I do it, I chain my 3 and I flip it. And then that makes this up here hard to find when I come back. I really should. You know what I really should do? Go find one. Let's get a stitch marker. If you go to a crafter's house and you find little tiny plastic safety pins, these are not safety pins. You can't really poke material with them. But what you can do is, instead of letting your stitch disappear, you can make yourself into a liar, Tressa. Hook it into there. And like, if you stop your project and you have to go do something, it'll pull like that. And you're like, oh no, where's my stitch? Here it is. So it's called a stitch marker. A stitch marker, if you're crafting, does not have to look like a safety pin. Some people make them with safety pins and little dangles. Oh, it's a car coming up there. I hear something in the wall. And the wall's only that thick, you know. A stitch marker can also look like a piece of yarn that doesn't belong right there. Like if I took a piece of this white and tied it in there, I would know that's where the stitch is. So another purpose for it is where do I start with this stitch? And I will show you that in a moment too. Where do you start with that stitch? Let me get this out of the way. Right here. Right where the stitch marker is. That's why it's called a stitch marker. You don't mark stitch with it. Stitch. Go takamagi. I don't know what he says. What is today? Tuesday? Tuesday. So either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, or maybe even Friday. I don't know what day of week. I'm going to have to get a hold of them. My niece says, can you make sure you show up to Grandma and Grandpa's? I kind of need to go through all his toys. And I need somebody to come play with him. I said, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. So still not word 1 of my birth certificate, my social security card, the stamps I ordered, not word 1. It's like they're waiting for me to cancel my plans and go, oh, here's your stuff. However, I understand with the social security card, they are moving people around. They're moving people from the field offices up into the telephone offices to answer calls, but the people in the field aren't there to fulfill the request from the calls. So it might, honey, I love you, Pam, but it might not even be this year that I can come because they're farting around with the documentation. And that makes me so mad. going back to ergonomic hooks, I glued this one on there because one wouldn't fit. And I have to re-glue it. This foam, I got it basically for free from one of the big yard sales. I go to yard sales in the spring and in the fall. There's 2 of them. Countywide yard sale. But in the countywide yard sale, there's ones that you could pick bulk things up and just give a donation. Well, you can do that with the Humane Society one in the fall, too. Well, I was in the tools. Obviously, I love tools. I know how to use them. And they had a big package of these foam things. These are really long foam things. And I thought, those would be great for at least temporary using for ergonomic hooks. And she says, what are those? I said, I don't know, but they'll fit on my hooks. And she says, good. What they were for is to shove down in your couch to hold a blanket on it. So it holds a blanket in place so that you're not moving it around and throwing it on the floor and stuff. I am tired again this morning. But I told you, I just didn't get the greatest sleep last night. Okay, I am engrossed. Oh, gross, Aunt T. You're gross. In this project. Obviously. You're gross, Aunt T. See how that's going to work? Now, what they do is it ends up with being a half sleeve, which it might be for me because I like half sleeves. And it also ends up being kind of a crop top. And so they sew the 2 pieces together, usually with like maybe some sort of strip of granny square down the back so that you have a neck area, and then they will finish crocheting around the whole bottom edge, and they will finish crocheting around the sleeve. So it's not going to be a finished project with the 2 hexagons alone. You have to do some sort of other preparation. Even if it's just sewing the 2 pieces together and grannying them together, which means granny squaring them together, hooking them together with the same stitch, which I am because I saw again, and I call him Jason Mimosa because it's a drink and not a very delicious drink, but it's just the name that comes into my head. When he made Jack Black's sweater, it looks like that's how he finished it off, was with the granny, not with a granny stitch rather than a square. Like he didn't make an extra couple of squares and put it down the back or anything. It looks like he just finished it off with the granny stitch, which you can do this without being in a square. You can do it it's called a granny stripe. Oh, 58 minutes. You guys, I'm sorry. I've got to go. I'm gonna see you later. You have a good day. Thanks for listening. Bye.